Right then, people, good evening. How are we doing? I hope everyone is doing well. We are live. Now, I haven't done this in a while, I must admit. Well, I say I haven't done this in a while. I did this about last week. But I've already forgotten how to do everything, so I need to make sure that I'm all live and okay. And then from there, we'll be able to go. Right, yep, it's all okay. Fantastic. So, good evening, people. Welcome into today's stream. If you are watching this as a video on the channel, hello people, how are we doing? Today, of course, Cheltenham made their second signing of the January window. Alkan Bagot, I hope I'm saying his name right. Of course, previously this season on loan at low end of League Two side Cheltenham. Of course, Ipswich Town player who's progressed through the ranks. We'll be talking all about him in this stream, and of course, in the meantime, we will be previewing Saturday's game at Plymouth Argyle. Of course, current league leaders. Will that stay the case? Who knows? But yeah, so let me know if you can hear me, okay, lads. Before I do anything else, Lopez, welcome in. Elliot, welcome in. I'm very good, thank you. Zolt, how are we doing? How are we doing? In fact, let me just put out on the Instagram that we're live. Let me just put that out. Bear with me, lads. But in the meantime, while I sort this out, get your thoughts on the signing of Alkan Bagot in the chat. I'll be reading through all of them, so get your thoughts in the chat, and of course I'll say my thoughts too. Right, nice. Okay, done. Right, that's up on the story. Can hear you fine? Fantastic. So, we'll probably review the signing first. I think that's probably the best way to do it. So, of course, towards the start of this window, we knew that we were in the market for 3 players, which I think... I think we need more. And I'll go on to explain that in a minute. A lot of people already know my thoughts on the transfer situation. But the 3 initial targets, as we know now, now that we've missed out on 2 of them, we had 3. There was 2 strikers and 1 central defender. We had Sam Bell, who is now staying at Bristol City because they've got a shortage of strikers there because of injuries. And, of course, players leaving there as well. Will Goodwin, who we have signed. And then Riley Towler, who I believe we were looking at previously on loan, whether it was this summer or last summer, from Bristol City as well. He's now joined Portsmouth on a permanent. We were also looking in for him on a permanent, but of course, when a team like Portsmouth come calling, it's always going to be a difficult one to get the signature of. So that puts us in a bit of a situation, but we're still in the market for players. We're still in the market for another striker, I believe, which is good. But today we've made our second signing, a 6'4" left-footed centre-back, Alkan Bagot, of course, an Indonesian international at youth level, and no doubt will be an Indonesian senior international in the near future. He's got 1.2 million Instagram followers, so fair to say the club will get some publicity, so I hope that's not the only reason we've signed him, but at the same time, it's probably a smart business move, I've got to say. Let's get your thoughts then. So, bit worried since Jules Van Singh has been inconsistent. I think, yeah, I mean it's difficult because he's making a step up as well. The consistency probably won't be there even if he was a fully consistent player. So, you know, it's one of those. I think he's a young lad. He's 20 years old, I believe. Hopefully he can make the step up. I think he'll be able to, but will he be able to find his feet straight away, get straight into the squad, be insert his dominance in that defence? I don't know. I hope so. He seems to have the confidence there, but only time will tell. He's being thrown in at the deep end with 2 massive games coming up. Of course, Plymouth away and Sheffield Wednesday home. I believe current 1st and 3rd place teams. Let me just double check that. I do have the table up. 1st and 2nd. I stand corrected. But yeah, it's going to be tough for him. But I almost think it's exactly what he's going to need because it's a big step up. And to be honest, I just hope he handles it. That's my, I think that's my general view. If you are enjoying the stream so far, please do consider liking it. And if you do like the channel, please do consider subscribing if you're not already. And share the channel. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by March. It's a big goal, but we can do it, I believe. So yeah, enough of the waffle. Happy with the signing. People saying he's decent, but you do get the occasion he's not that good. I think you'll get that with every player. I saw a comment saying he's not. He'll be easy to replace. He's not that great. We move. But then the rest of the comments were, 90% of the other comments were saying, oh, he'll be a big miss in the squad. So you take it with a pinch of salt, don't you? I don't really take, the fans of their previous clubs, their comments too much into account, because at this level, maybe not so much with the defenders, but every player plays differently in each squad. So, it's one of them. Harry, welcome, and how are we doing? Loads of fans saying how great he is, so let's see if we can shut down Callum Wright. And I think it'll be okay. John says still, yeah, centre forward. Yeah, well, we hopefully we will make a signing or two more. I did tweet this yesterday when John Palmer tweeted that we weren't in the market for a midfielder, and I will say it briefly. And you can agree or disagree here, because this is a bit of an open statement. But I cannot understand why we are not in the market for a defensive midfielder. It's so apparent that that's where so many of the errors are coming from. Our midfielder with the best defensive abilities is probably Elliot Bonds. And that does say a lot about, the situation, I think. So I can't quite wrap my head around why we're not going for a holding midfielder or a defensive midfielder in general, or a central midfielder who does have those defensive abilities. I can't quite understand that, but it's Cheltenham Town. Nothing surprises me. Just doing shocking though, so it's hard for him to stand out in that team. Yeah, that's the one point that is going to be made. He is playing in I think they are in the relegation zone, so a relegation zone Gillingham side. Is his ability truly shining through in that team? If he's doing well now, is that his full ability? I don't know. I think the fact that they're as low as they are in the league suggests that, he probably did have a lot to do defensively. But it's hard to make a comparison when they're at the bottom of League 2 and we are towards the bottom of League 1. We're more than 24 places above them. So it's hard to give an accurate prediction as to where this signing is going to go. I think I'm more leaning towards positive, but there is always that possibility that he could flop. But I hope he doesn't, and I don't think he will. But there's that possibility with every signing, isn't there? We definitely need a central midfielder, 100%. I think we need a midfielder, definitely not a forward. I think if we do get a forward, it gives us the ability to loan out players that need to be loaned out. So, for me, Norton needs to be loaned out. For me, Lloyd needs to be loaned out. Maybe even Charlie Brown, but probably not so much. Is it worth signing a player just for the sake of being able to loan out a few of ours? Or would it be more beneficial to just not sign a forward and sign a midfielder? I don't know. But there you go. There you go. Seems decent, but inconsistent. Fair. Mumble or destroy. Bally Mumble is a very good player, to be fair. I give it to him. Hi, Matt. Isn't Circum injured? Came off in the Bristol game. It wasn't the Bristol game. It was Saturday against Derby. Yeah, Circum will be a big miss. Circum was just starting to come into form. My camera keeps going out of focus. I can only apologise. And that is even more so why we need a midfielder, because I think the way we're currently playing, I feel a bit bad for Taylor Perry, because Taylor Perry is a brilliant player, but the way we're playing at the moment and the tactics that we use don't suit him. So it's tough. It's tough, but for me, we've got to be going for a holding midfielder. It's a given. It's the most obvious position that we need a player in, other than centre-back, which we've now got a player for. So, if I'm Mickey Moore, if I'm Wade Elliott, I'm putting in words to the board saying, what money have we got to splash towards a midfielder? What's the situation going to be with loanees going out, coming in, etc. So, I don't know. I don't know how many loans we've got over, so I don't know if we can loan any more players. Not 100% sure. I agree Bonds needs to go. Just putting it out there. And someone needs to step up and be a replacement. The problem is, I think, I feel bad for Bonds because I think prior to Morecambe, he was really starting to come back into last season's form. I think Bristol Rovers away, when he came on off the bench, Bonds was unbelievable. And yes, we lost, but the difference when him, Ferry and Jackson came on off the bench was unbelievable. And he was quality in that second half. Since then, he's been crap, to be honest, and he'll be the first person to admit that, and I feel bad for the lad because he just needs to find a bit of consistency, and that Morecambe game really knocked his confidence, and it's so easy to tell. I think I don't think we let him go. I don't think we loan him out. I think we bring in a holding midfielder to give him some competition, to really drive him to get back to where he once was, and get back, into consistency in the team, etc. Enough of that. Let's talk about Alkan Bagot. So, of course, he was an Indonesian international at youth level. Very popular over there, it seems, with the amount of media reaction, or should I say, reaction on social media that he's getting from people in Indonesia. He's a young centre-back that who has progressed through the ranks at Ipswich. I believe he's been there for about 4 or 5 years now. I think he was there at youth level in like the 17-18 season. I might be wrong there, but it's been about there or thereabouts 4 or 5 years he has been at Ipswich Town. I believe he had a loan spell at Kings Lynn, and then he was sat in or around Ipswich for the next 2 seasons, or season and a half or so. And then most recently, of course, at Gillingham in League 2. And has done pretty well, to be fair. 19 appearances in League 2, 3 in the EFL Trophy, 3 in the FA Cup, and 4 in the EFL Cup, or Carabao Cup, as it's known. That's not bad. I mean, how many appearances is that in total? 22, 25, 29. 29 appearances for a 20-year-old. Being thrown into a squad that's at the lower end of League 2 is not bad at all, if you ask me. To say that he's getting a run in that side, it is good. But, I mean, at the same time, you could say it's a bit desperate times there. I think what they're trying to build at Gillingham is interesting because, of course, they've got new owners. They've brought in Tom Nichols. They are making some serious signings. That he might be a miss for them. I'm yet to see any media reaction from them on their end. So, I'll read into that a bit after this live stream, but I think he will be a loss to that Gillingham squad. Looking at his goal contributions, looking at his game time in the team, looking at his stats and what Gillingham fans have had to say about him, it does seem all round quite positive. The issue is the step up and the team that he is going into, which is I think. Probably Wade Elliott doesn't even know where our squad as a unit is at the moment. But once January is over, we'll know and we'll be able to build that back, I hope. 2 goals in League 2 and 1 in the FA Cup as well. 3 goals in total for a centre-back. At this point in the season is very impressive, actually. That's almost Will Boyle levels. The season where he got 7 in one season, I believe. Was it last season, I want to say, or the season before, the title season? Not 100% sure there. But yeah, for Cheltenham he was very good, and he's clearly scoring goals, which is positive because the amount of corners we get, the amount of crosses we put into the box, and defenders are up there, but they're not getting their head on the ball and scoring goals. That is where he could be a very, very key player for us, and I hope he is. But I say that Caleb Taylor scored his first goal on Saturday, 2 minutes into the game, not even. And he's been knocking on the door and up in the opposition box so much over this season. So it was good to see him get a goal. But hopefully them two can combine at times while Freeston is injured, of course. And hopefully, grab a few goals between them. It would be nice. Watsy is in, the man, the myth, the legend. You Reds. Baggott Bush. My Indonesian prince finally got him. Things you'll have to see. Watsy does have a long list of players that he wants to sign for Cheltenham. So I assume, judging by finally got him, he was one of them. So gutted, Baggott got record, best player, top goal scorer. Was he actually your top goal scorer? That's mad. That says a lot, doesn't it? I mean, at least Gillingham are building something there. So I wish them the very best for the rest of the season. It must be tough having players leave for other clubs, especially when they've been on loan. He's been on this for a long time. Things you'll have to see. Hey, what's you going on Saturday? I assume you are, mate. I assume you are. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty strong signing. I mean, he's 6'4", he's left-footed. He seems like a pretty confident lad. And he will bring that physical presence to our back line, which, with Raglan in and out of suspension, with Freeston injured for a long term, with Freeston out with a long-term injury, should I say, and then Sean Long there as well, Caleb Taylor, I think it'll be a good addition. The only thing I am interested to see is where does that leave Bradbury in the pecking order, because Bradbury has come into the team and he's played 3 games. Yeah, 3 games, 2 in the league and 1 in the Papa John's Trophy. And it's difficult for Bradbury because I think he hasn't shone, but he's a centre-back. He's not going to. And I think he hasn't really done anything wrong. So I in a sense, I feel a bit bad for him because I think he's come into the squad after previously being in the National League with Halifax Town, of course. And he's stepped up straight up to League One. He hasn't had much game time. He's simply been out on the training pitch. He's had a bit of game time in the trophy. That's it. He's come into a League One squad, and he's done all right. He really has done all right. So I'll be interested to see where Tom Bradbury's future goes now as a centre back in this Cheltenham squad. Is the signing of Baggott almost going to be one of those where we've signed him to bring that presence and bring that, solidity back into the defence and give us a chance to loan Bradbury out on short term to a League 2 team potentially? I don't know. It would make sense. But I think Bradbury deserves game time. And I think the way we're going to get the best out of him is give him a short-term loan to another team. Potentially in League 2. So time will tell on that. But watch this space with Bradbury because it will be it's a bit of an interesting situation at the moment. Big crowd on Saturday. It's sold out apparently. We need to be loud and get behind the lads. Get them going. When Freeston comes back in March, I think it is, Lewis, Caleb and Alkan, who's going to get past the defence like on paper, it's scary. But then what happens to Sean Long? Like, this is my only thing, is that once Freeston is back, and if Bradbury is still at the club, at that point we have 6 centre-backs, one of which is out on loan in Ireland. So, ultimately, we will lose a few in the summer. Well, of course, we'll lose Taylor, we'll lose Alkan, but then we still have a solid number of defenders. And ultimately, we will lose a couple of those. Which are going to be the names that depart? And that's my thoughts. Is Bradbury going to go? I hope he doesn't, because otherwise it's just a waste of a season of his career and a waste of our time. I could see Raglan going in the summer, but we'll leave this for another time. We'll part this conversation because I think the whole centre back conversation is a bit of it's an interesting one and. Is Grant Horton going to come back and, and have a blinder and get straight into the squad and be brilliant for us? Unlikely, but not beyond the realms of possibility. Is Sean Long going to stay? Who knows? Is Bradbury going to stay? Who knows? The back three is a an interesting conversation to be had, I think. To be allowed, we need more people to actually get involved with it. I hope we take okay numbers to Plymouth is the only thing I'd say. But yeah, it'd just be if we only take about like 300, it'd be embarrassing. It will get to the point where it's just embarrassing. We should be. I know we're only a small club, but we should be taking minimum 400, 450 minimum. To be honest, but I have a terrible feeling we won't. Right, I think that's time then. So before we move on to the preview for Saturday's game, let us know your so rank this signing out of 10, lads, and give your reason why. If I'm gonna rank this signing out of 10, I think we're not going off of loads of information. I think we do have a bit there, but it almost feels like a similar situation to when I'm trying to think when we signed like Freeston from Brighton, where he'd gone to Peterborough, he'd played 1 or 2 games, he went back to Brighton, played at youth level. That was about it. It feels like a bit of a similar situation there, but obviously we have a bit more solidity with a half a season at Gillingham. 10 because he's my prince, things obviously. Can I to bang a goal? No thanks. I love Cal. He's a lovely guy. It's Cal, but please don't score. I'm gonna rank it a 7. A 7 out of 10. And the only reason it's not higher or lower is because I don't have enough to go off. I think once we see his first few performances, that's when we'll be able to tell, is it an 8 or a 9? Is it a 5 or a 6? Is it lower? Is it higher? So I'm kind of on the fence a bit, but I think so far, at face value, it's a pretty solid signing. Right, on that note then, let's head over to, let me make sure I'm on the right screen, let's head over to SofaScore to get the stats and form going into Saturday's clash at Plymouth Argyle. Right, we're back. Apologies. Apologies. Right, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I forgot to change that before the stream. Oh dear. I knew something would go wrong. I'm bloody awful at this, lads. I'm not cut out for this. Please leave me alone. Right. Okay. Starting again. Let's start again. Right. I don't normally talk about. I've just literally sat there for about 5 minutes waffling on about some football game, and my mic wasn't fuming. Right. Okay. Let me make sure I'm on the right screen. Can you hear me? Okay. Right. Oh, I've had a rotter. Okay. Unsubscribe, everyone. Honestly, I don't deserve it. I am a fraud. It's confirmed. Right. Okay. I'm not normally one to talk about bookies odds. But yes, I have been talking to myself for 5 minutes. Right. 5-1 for a Cheltenham win. For a football game, that's pretty decent odds. Just for a team to win. The bookies, no, it's not going to happen. It's quite obvious. It almost feels like a cup clash, this. Because I just... Plymouth was such a solid side. I see Baggott, I click. Hey, Baggott Santosa. Welcome into the stream. How are we doing? If you do enjoy the stream, please subscribe. We are trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before March. Be massively appreciated. But yeah, Baggott, what a player. Hopefully he does well for us. Hopefully he does well. But I mean, that's effectively 1-2 on the odds for Plymouth. So yeah, I mean, the bookies know their stuff. It's very, very unlikely that we're gonna get a result on Saturday. I can't see it at all. I think Plymouth is such a strong squad. You know, it's a sold out home park. You know, Stephen Schumacher, what a manager he is. Their squad is just ridiculously strong. It's so strong and the depth is ridiculous. Fans will be up for it. Yeah, hopefully we take decent numbers. Can't see it, but there you go. Sorry, Matt, just joined. Do you reckon Baggott could be a similar player to Boyle? Goals wise, potentially, but I haven't. You know, it's hard to talk about a defender and compare him to another player. But I did mention earlier, goals wise, could be a similar forward thinking defender to the likes of Will Boyle. But before anything else, before we actually do dive into previous results and everything, let's have a quick form comparison. So, you know, 16 league places between the two sides. 30 more points than us. So that's 10 more wins equivalent, which is just unbelievable. 3 wins in their last 5, 2 draws, undefeated in the last 5, probably undefeated for longer than that. And then, of course, 1 win in our last 5, 4 losses. I believe 5 losses. 5 losses in our last 6, actually. So, yeah, it's not looking good for us. Let's see what this says. What's this saying? I've never actually read into this. No, okay, that's just promoting SofaScore. Okay, you frauds. You absolute frauds. So, here we have form then. Here we have form. So, of course, Saturday they faced Ipswich away. And got a late goal. Ballymumba, I believe it was, causing absolute scenes in that Plymouth away end. Sellout as well, I believe. Honestly, their fan base is unbelievable. To be honest, to sell out Ipswich away for that distance it's a joke. It's an absolute joke, and they were rewarded with a late goal from Ballymumba. What a player he is. We will dive into the stats of that game shortly. And then, I mean, you look at their form. I mean, EFL Trophy, solid 2-0 win over a strong Bristol Rovers side, away from home again. Shows we're going to really struggle against them in the semi-final, but you never know. Draw against Bolton, 0-0 there. 3-1 win over MK Dons, 1-0 over Wickham. That was a strong win for them as well. Of course, one of their wins in their last 5 in the league was against us, away from home. 1-0, we deserved more from the game. I do like Plymouth as a side, but I won't be the first to admit we deserved more. We didn't help ourselves, but we should have got a point minimum from that game. I think at times we were the better side, to be honest. But yeah, we let ourselves down in that game, I think. We could have got more. We'll also dive into the stats of that shortly. Beat Wimbledon after penalties in the EFL Trophy once again. Beat Morecambe. And there's not really much point going back much further than that. I mean, and then you compare it to our form. Admittedly, right, in here you do have some pretty good sides. You've got Plymouth. You've got Bristol Rovers away. It's always going to be a tough one. You've got Derby. So there is some strong teams in this mix. My goat, I assume Skinner you are referring to, Mr. Alkan Bagot. So, of course, recent fixture, Derby at home, 3-2 loss, and the only thing that separated the two teams was an absolute belter from Max Bird. I mean, what a bloody goal that was. What a goal that was. Oh, my word. Oh, my goodness. The fact that he hit it so sweetly from such a distance, bloody speechless. Unreal. Very convincing 3-1 win over Salford. We could have had more goals, to be honest. We could have had 4 or 5 with the chances we had. Alfie May hit the bar after an unbelievable save from their keeper from, wow, what would have been one of the best goals I've seen at Wadden Road again. The play before, the skill from Circum, and then the unbelievable shot from May. What a goal that would have been. But, yeah, and then the 2 games before that, a bit of an iffy one. I mean, Morecambe, I wasn't there, so I can't really comment on it too much, but tough one. Second goal, I mean, both goals avoidable on our part, to be honest. I've watched the highlights back. And then Bristol Rovers away again, could have had more from the game, deserved more from the game. Alpha May probably should have scored that chance where he lobbed Belshaw. We were on the attack for the whole second half. We need to get better at taking these chances. It's so evident because, I mean, that was a game where we could have had 3 points and we came away with nothing. So, to be honest, so was Plymouth. So was Plymouth at home. We could have got 3 points from that. So was Derby, to be fair. Derby, I think, if we'd have been a bit more clinical with our chances, there could have been some points in there for us. Of course, 1-0 win away at Shrewsbury. Unbelievable shithouse, sorry. I think it's fair to say in that game. 2 red cards, the greatest challenge you have ever seen from Charlie Raglan on their man, the absolute leg breaker. And then, of course, before that, 4-0 win over Chelsea under 21s, and then the less said about that, the better. Was it Morecambe not a great performance? Yeah. Yeah, understandable. Right, so let's look at... Where is it? There we go. Let's look at the stats for Plymouth's 1-1 draw away at Ipswich. So, pattern of the play is a bit of a weird one because it's kind of... There's long patches of play where one side dominates, the other dominates. 93rd minute. I saw the scenes. Oh, my goodness. Absolute limbs. Ballymumba finishes as with the assist. He's back from injury, and it's another ex-Cheltenham player. It's another ex-Cheltenham player that is going to absolutely rip us a new one on Saturday. Not ideal. But let's look at these player ratings. So Niall Ennis to start off with on a 6.9, of course, subbed off in that game. I'm right. Yeah, subbed off in that game. So was Ryan Hardy. Ryan Hardy has seemed to hit a bit of inconsistency. Now, correct me if I'm wrong if there's any Portsmouth fans in here, but he doesn't quite seem that... He still shows moments of brilliance this season, admittedly. I mean, he's still an unbelievable striker. I'm not saying he's not, but I think he's not quite the player he was previously. And that doesn't mean he's a bad player. I'm just kind of... He's a bit faded from previous performances. But that's just my thoughts on what I've seen of him in highlights, etc. Danny Mayer, another very, very good player for them. I mean, to say that he got a 6.6 rating, but still got these stats, 2 long balls, 1 that hit the man, strong passing accuracy, 2 ground duels won. Possession lost 7 times isn't great, but Danny Mayer's another brilliant player, and then Ballymumba on a 7.7 man in the match in that game. I mean, look at that. I mean, he does get down that right side, doesn't he? Defence, attack, he's there. He's there every time. 6 out of 8 long balls, 79% pass accuracy, 31 passes made, 70 touches, a goal. Oh my word. A shot blocked, successful dribble attempt, 9 ground duels won, 2 aerial duels won. What an unbelievable player. Unbelievable player. Most people actually expected Ipswich to win that one. But that was a massive point for Plymouth, because if Ipswich had won that one, it would have been, so Ipswich would have been on 53, Plymouth would have been on 57. So yeah, the gap would have been 4 points between Argyle and Ipswich. But it's very close. It's very close at the top of League One. Of course, Sheffield Wednesday have a game in hand. Sheffield Wednesday at the moment do look like the form in this league. Don't get me wrong. Plymouth are still unbelievable. They deserve to be where they are. But Sheffield Wednesday are starting to come through as the strong and consistent team that look like title winners. I think Plymouth have been unbelievable. I'd love them to win the title. I think they're a great side, great fan base, well-run club. But I just think Sheffield Wednesday at the moment are really hitting form. 4 wins from their last 4, 46 goals scored, 18 conceded. Still in the FA Cup going into the 5th round. What more can you do? Is it 4th round? Yeah, 4th round. It's crazy. It's crazy. So every credit to them, of course, beating Newcastle at Hillsborough just over a week ago. He's well out of form. We've got much better options now as well. He won't get in much. Wayne, Cosgrove, and it's all better than Hardy. Fair enough. We have Sheffield Wednesday after Plymouth. Yes, we do. We have the top 2 in our next 2 games. Fantastic. But yeah, I mean, this game alone shows their quality. 11-2 for them to win that game, even though they are league leaders. The bookies do, clearly look into these things. But they got a point. Every credit to them. Right, let's look at our stats against Derby. I haven't actually looked at stats. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Here we go then. So, okay. Well, obviously I was there. So I did see this. So I'll be perfectly honest with you. This patterns of play is very harsh. It's very harsh. It's the one thing I don't like about SofaScore is sometimes I think that these things don't quite reflect. I think second half we were the better side, so I can't see where this is coming from. The longest period of good play from them in the game, I can't quite remember them being that good for that long in the second half, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Caleb Taylor getting man of the match, actually, with a goal and a solid defensive performance, even though we did concede 3. Luke Southwood on a 5.9 rating is a travesty. How on earth have they given him a 5.9? He made some solid saves in that game. As you can see, 2 solid saves in that game, and all 3 of the other goals were unsavable. The Max Bird one he was never getting to. The first goal, the header right into the corner, should have been defended better more than anything. Not the goalkeeper's fault at all. That's the one thing I don't like about SofaScore ratings is when you've actually seen the game, you know what the ratings should be. 5.9 is unjustified. Again, 6 for Bradbury, unjustified. I mean, he was only dribbled past once. You can't really possession lost 11 times, but nothing key. It's not the greatest of performances, but 6 again. It's a bit low. I thought he did alright. Sean Long on a 6.4. I thought he struggled in that game, so probably fair. Caleb Taylor, brilliant game for the lad on his birthday as well. A goal and an assist. Unbelievable. Unbelievable for a centre-back, eh? What a player he is. And we're going to miss him come the end of the season. But there you go. Alpha May also 7.8 with a goal. Alpha May starting to come back into form is good to see. But, I mean, you know, it's... You look at these stats, you know, 15 shots. And we're scoring 2. 5 on target, we're scoring 2. It's... You want to... Scoring 2 in a game like that is not bad, but you've got to stay... You got to stay watertight at the back. If you get where I'm coming from. You've got to have some solidity at the back if you're only going to score 2 with them chances. 5... One sec, lads. Yeah, apologies. Apologies for that, guys. I was just discussing dinner with my old man. Right. 10 fouls. Did we really commit that many fouls? So at Cheltenham when they played Derby, I work as a steward. Nice. Hey, Ted. Thank you for doing a good job for the club. I must admit the stewards have improved. Over time. Well, all bar one. Which is, I mean, he's a character, and he's not a very nice guy. But there we go. But yeah, I mean, it frustrates me because we didn't play bad against Derby, but there's a lot of positives to take. We could have got more. But I think you take the positives from the way we played into this game, and hopefully if we play like that again, and we can defend a bit better. Baggott comes into the team, hopefully starts well. You never know. You never know, do you? And hopefully Baggott does get a debut against Plymouth. I would like to see it. Right, let's look at the stats from the last time we played then. You know, again, you take it with a pinch of salt because it was quite a time ago. Again, I mean, I feel like, you look at the patterns of play. We actually had the better passages of play than them. Michael Cooper being forced into some... How many saves did he make in that game? 6 saves. 1 punch. I mean, he's just an unreal keeper, isn't he? Ben, welcome in. How are we doing? I was a W game, but I couldn't get into this thing, so I'm so loud. Fair enough. But yeah, it's... Plymouth at home was another game where I thought we deserved more. But, to be honest... To be perfectly honest, I thought we should have won the game. And I think because we conceded, it makes that claim sound outrageous. But I genuinely think that there was passages in that game where we did look really strong. Apologies. And I think there were certainly times in that game where I thought, we're going to score here. We're going to score. We should score here. Will we score? I don't know. But we should score here. We didn't. Dare I look at these stats? I have to. Wow. I mean, you look at that. I mean, admittedly, Michael Cooper had an unbelievable game. But you can't have 17 shots, 6 on target, and not hit the net. You just can't. And that was the frustration in that game because you look at all of the attacking stats, the positive stats that you want to have on your side in this game. And we had them all. Shots on target. Corner kicks. Big chances equal. Fair enough. More counter-attacks. More counter-attack shots. More shots inside the box. It was going our way against Plymouth. But Morgan Whittaker, of course, pulled through with the goal for them. It was a good goal as well. It was a frustrating one with Plymouth at home. We deserved more, but they proved why they are such a great side because they didn't quite grind out the result, but they were just very professional in that game. And I think, you can't really say that they didn't deserve 3 points, but I think we deserved more in ourselves. Didn't have a great side out. We had no Caleb. Down in front, Broom on the right. He wasn't right in that position. Broom is better as a central player, I think. I think that That's pretty apparent to me. But it's always tough looking at these games and thinking, okay, we played well, but it was against a strong Plymouth side. And a lot of our games recently have been against good sides, Plymouth, Derby, Bristol Rovers. And, we've now got Plymouth again. Sheffield Wednesday. Port Vale coming up at home. Not an easy game by any stretch. So, we're in a position where I wish we didn't come into this run of games on the form we're on. I think we really could have done with getting 3 points against Morecambe. I think we could have done with getting a point at Bristol Rovers. Could have done with getting a point maybe against Derby or Plymouth, one of the two. So we're not in the greatest of positions in that sense, but hopefully the squad does have the morale to try and pick it up a bit. But only time will tell on that. But I mean, last time we played, the squad will be very different, of course. Freeston injured, Circum injured, Bonds probably won't start, Williams probably won't start, Broom will probably in the middle, Ollie Inca probably won't start, Ragnan's out on a suspension, Dan is gone. The squad is, you look at this squad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Potentially 6 players out of 11 won't be playing. Guaranteed Dan, guaranteed Cirks, guaranteed Freeston. Williams, Farrell will probably start over, and Bonds, I can imagine someone else will come in for him, but again, we don't have too many midfield options. So, it's one of them, isn't it? Broom might slot into central midfield, Jacko out on the right, I'd imagine. Feel like Plymouth are the underdogs of the league title only a few years ago in League 2. Feel like their club's come to become a great team. With the likes of Derby, Sheffield Wednesday, Ipswich chasing the title. Yeah, I get that. Of course, they were in League. They did go down to League 2. 2018-19, was it? I want to say. Of course, there wasn't really a great situation at the club then. But they built a decent squad with what they had. And they went straight back up. The pages decided to refresh, probably because we've been on it for so long. I remember that season. One goal for Plymouth sticks in my mind. Sarcevic against Salford, where he chested it down and half volleyed it into the far corner, almost with the outside of his boot. It's a beautiful finish. Where's Sarcevic at now? I can't even think. Good player on his day, to be fair. In fact, yeah, let's Google that just out of interest. Anthony Sarcevic was his name, I want to say. Yeah. Stockport, wow. He's at Stockport, interesting. I was not aware. I was doing quite well in League 2, actually. Well, that just proves that my League 2 knowledge is absolutely crap. 21 matches, 4 goals, 1 assist. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Yeah, apologies for that, lads. My League 2 knowledge is absolutely woeful. I thought he went to Stockport, but I didn't know if he was still there. But yeah, good player on his day. So this is how the league table shapes up going into Saturday then. I look at where we are. And we have, we have the potential to progress as far as 16th. We have the potential to build a gap as big as 6 points between us and Accrington. We have the chance to build a gap as big as 7 points between us and relegation. But it's not going to happen, is it, realistically? I don't know why I'm talking about us. I should be talking about Plymouth. Plymouth need to win this. So the pressure's not really on us, I think, is the one positive. We are going to be the underdogs, but there's not going to be loads of pressure on us. If somehow results went their way and Wednesday and Ipswich lost, they'd be 6 points clear of Sheffield Wednesday and 10 points clear of Ipswich. So they'd be in a position then where even though Sheffield Wednesday have a game in hand, they're cruising. Not cruising. You can never cruise at the top of the league, but you know what I mean. They're in a good position. So I'm not going to give a score prediction now. You can wait for that for the vlog. But feel free to get your score predictions in the chat. Give us a score prediction. Right, well, my light is having a fit. Okay, I've banged it off my desk and somehow it's fixed. Apologies if any of you saw flickering in the face cam there, but my lamp was having a mind of its own. Stockport, he left Bolton, I fell out with Bolton. Yeah, I remember that. Opinions on Dylan Barker's. Decent player. Needs to go out on loan. Needs to go out on loan to probably to a League 2 side, to be honest. Get some game time, come back into the squad, get a bit of league game time every now and again, see how he goes. Not as simple as that, unfortunately, but that's what I'd like to think. 2-0 Town, you reckon? 2-2, fingers crossed. 3-1 Plymouth. 2-0 Plymouth. Fair. Don't apologise to me. Why would you apologise? Yeah, like I say, I'm not going to give a prediction now, but I have a scoreline in my head. I don't think it's going to be a convincing win either way. But, I mean, in an ideal world, we get a point from this game. This is a game where I'd love a point. Even if it's a 0-0, to be honest. 4-1 Plymouth. Bold. Underestimating Cheltenham. Interesting. Right then, lads. We've been live for 51 minutes, blimey. So, let's not faff about any longer. 1 win, 7 shot. Interesting. So, let's not faff about any longer. We'll stay live for about 5 more minutes. Get any questions in for me that you've got in the chat. Ask any questions if you want my thoughts on anything. And we'll just have a general chat about all things Cheltenham. Also, if you have enjoyed the stream and you are new, please do subscribe. We're currently on 1,000. We've gained 3 from this live alone. We're currently on 1,734. If we could get to like 1,750 by Saturday, that'd be unbelievable. So, any shares with mates in group chats, on stories, anything like that would be massively appreciated. Like I say, we are trying to hit 2,000 before March. It's a big task, and I need your guys' help. So if you could, it'd be massively appreciated. For some reason, I got a feeling Town will score 2 goals. Goodman 36th and Baggott 79th. That is very specific. If that happens, I will give you my channel. I may as well. Also, I just want to thank you all for the support of on the channel. I'm looking at my YouTube studio now, and it's crazy. 36.8 thousand views. This is the last 4 weeks, by the way. 36.8 thousand views, 2,600 minutes watch time. 2,600 hours watch time, sorry. And 139 subscribers in 28 days. That is, I'm trying to work out an average for that. That is, let's round up to 30. So that is, what? Let's just do it on the calculator. 139 divided by 28. I can't be bothered to try and estimate it. What is it? 139 divided by 28. That is average of 5 subscribers a day. Average of 5 subscribers a day. That is unreal. That is unreal. Who replaces Dan in London for the next match? Will Goodman. And Baggott's goal will be from a long throw from Jacko. Right then. I hope Ollie can start to rate him. I think he deserves to start, but to be honest, I just think that the way we're currently playing, does he get game time? I think Ollie Inker is one of our players that desperately needs to go. I think we've got 2 players at the moment that really need goals, and then they might kick on. Ollie Inker and Norton. Both of them are in desperate need of goals. So I hope they get them. I do hope they get them, but obviously, I mean, you can't get a goal unless you're playing. So it's a tough one. I thought Goodwin was pretty good against Plymouth, not Plymouth, Derby actually. So we'll see how he does against Plymouth on Saturday. Hopefully he can do similar to what he did against Salford potentially. But obviously, there's a big step up in quality of opposition, so it's tough. Also, lads, do you want me to do more of these live streams? I want to start doing like ones because obviously I ranked every English Football League ground I've been to, so I want to do more live ranking shows. I want to do prediction shows. I want to do preview shows, transfer shows, etc. So let me know if you want to see them. Let me know, and we'll do it. We'll get it done. We will get it done. Righty-ho. Got any questions then? If you do want to ask anything, I'll stay live for the next 3 minutes. We'll end at 1:45. How about that? How far is the journey? I actually don't know. I want to say it'll be like 2 hours, roughly. Devon is about 2 hours, maybe just over. But then by coach, it might be a bit longer. Exeter took us a while, I can't lie. But obviously Exeter is... One's significantly nearer than the other. And I'm going to kick myself because I can't remember. Exeter to Plymouth. Which one is closer to us? Because I know one's more like northern than the other. Exeter's the closer one, so it'll take... it'll take longer. Okay, so no, Plymouth will probably... 3 hours, probably over. 3 hours, I imagine. On a Saturday, probably about 3 hours. Not bad. It's not terrible. 2 hours 31. I doubt that. The only reason I doubt that is it took us about 2 hours 15 for Exeter, and that was without any significant traffic, but just because it was on the coach, it just took time. But no point, speculating over journey times. You know what I mean? But I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I've never been to. Well, I've been to Plymouth loads. I've been outside the ground or near the ground loads. I've never been in the ground, so it'll be my first time. And I'm gonna make the most of it because I do like Plymouth. So I'll probably go and have a look around their club shop and all that. I might do for those that know, they have a TikToker. They have a lass that does she ranks their away days. She follows me, and I because she always pops up on the TikTok friends list. So I might just do one of them. I might just do one of them for the sake of it. I mean, I do have my away days ranked already. I need to get back on that grind, to be fair. I'm supposed to be more like 3 hours, yeah. 3 hours without traffic. Get to see Pieface too. I'd like to, but I've met him before, so it's not really it's not really. I'm not gonna go out of my way to meet Jack. I've already met him. He's a nice guy, but I mean, it'd be great to get him on the video potentially. But I mean, if I see him, go for it. But I mean, I don't really have a way of contact. I mean, I do. I mean, if Watsy's still here, Watsy is good mates with Jack, but Watsy's on fraud watch. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to pop me a cheeky message from. In your opinion, what's been the best game of the season so far? Home and away overall. So for Cheltenham, is that for Cheltenham or for any game I've been to? Because obviously there's going to be different answers. If we're saying just for Cheltenham, there hasn't really been a good game. But like Exeter away was an unbelievable away day. It was a quality away day. It was a really good away day, was Exeter. So that's Cheltenham, yeah. Plymouth fans won't like me saying that, but Exeter away was unreal, and we did beat them, Plymouth. So we beat them for you, okay. We beat them 1-0 away. That was quality. Shrewsbury away was okay, to say it was a Tuesday night. What other ones we got? Oh, Charlton away was right up there, but the journey took forever. What else have we got? Trying to think. I'm trying to think what like home games. Bolton at home was good. I thought we played really well. We got a 1-0 win. But if we're talking like not Cheltenham, it's probably got to be Villa versus Stevenage. Well, actually, Blues versus Middlesbrough was also a very good game. 3-1 to Middlesbrough. That away end was unreal. But Villa versus Stevenage, oh my goodness. 2 late goals from Stevenage. Wow, unreal. Go and watch the vlog if you haven't already. It's one of the best vlogs on the channel. Honestly. Exeter at home was epic for us. It was on Sky, so even sweeter. I can imagine, like I've already prefer, yeah. They are good, I gotta say. Right then, lads, I am gonna call today's stream there. If you did enjoy, please do smash like and subscribe. It'd be massively appreciated. Share the channel if you can as well. It would truly mean the world. Of course, the next video will be the vlog on Saturday, Plymouth away. Be interesting. Be interesting to see what happens. But stay tuned for the vlog for my prediction on that. Yeah. Hopefully we can get a result, and hopefully there's a decent following from us. But yeah, only tell Mata. Have a class rest of your day, lads. Much love to each and every single one of you. God bless. See you soon.